Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. How y'all doing? Tonight, it's definitely coffee time. I'm ready for the weekend. I have had one of those weeks where it's been great, but it's been busy. And I had a question the other night in a chat in what do they call them? Private messages when they go in. And they said, do you ever just feel like not cooking, or what do y'all do on those nights? Well, truth be told, I would say 99.9% of the time, we come on here and it's fun and exciting and we feel better, for doing so, and we love it. But there are times when you're tired and you don't want to cook, but then we got to eat, so why not cook, right? Tonight's one of those nights I can have a free night. Not a free night from coming on, but I don't want to cook. And there's several reasons. I had a late lunch because I had a busy day. Mama's out partying tonight. I like to cook something a lot of times to feed her, so she won't say, well, let's just don't eat. Because now Mama would go without eating. And she'd say, I'll get, and she grazes. She'll eat about here and about there. She's perfectly content. A lot of times I'll call her and ask if you've eaten anything out of a plate today. Yes, I have. I had breakfast out of a plate. Okay, thank you. Because Mama will say, oh, I ate a little bit of this, I ate a little bit of that. That usually means she's just grazed around. So I'm not going to cook tonight. So if you're tuning in for some great recipe tonight, let me tell you how to make this coffee, because that's a great recipe. Actually, some of y'all did ask me to show you how to do percolator coffee on the stove and how I do my electric percolator. Maybe in the morning I might do that. I don't know. Or maybe tomorrow afternoon when I make my evening pot of coffee, I'll come on and say, here's the perk coffee. I tell you not long ago, didn't I? I think I did. So I ordered a outdoor percolator. I got the thing back in the little glass lid, and I'll show it to y'all sometime. I'm hoping to get it replaced. The little glass knob wouldn't fit. It wouldn't screw on the top. It's way too little. So I called the company and got a hold of a lady once, and she said, we've had that problem. Some of those pots got too big of a hole drilled out. Let me send you one. It was a message. And she said, I need your address. And she left her email address, and I've tried it several times. It won't go through. And then I tried to call and I can't get them. Now, we may do a product review on it, and I hope it's going to be a good product review, how that she came through in the end with me a new percolator. Because you can't perk coffee without that little glass knob. So I will be doing a review, good or bad, when the time comes. But I'm still giving them a chance because it was just this week. But I'm looking forward to making coffee outside from start to finish. I love coffee over an open fire. But percolator coffee is one of my favorites. Good stuff. But I just don't feel like cooking tonight, and I don't feel like cleaning up. Now, I might feel like cooking and eating, but I'm tired today. Do y'all ever get that way? So if there ever was a day that I think I just ain't going to cook tonight, it's tonight. Do y'all ever just go home and say, I ain't cooking? Now, sometimes I feel like not cooking and I'll get carry out. Take out. I'll just run by someone and get it. Usually at the KFC, because that's one of Mama's favorites, is wings. She loves wings. And I always get the bucket. It's got 4 wings, and then it's got a couple legs, couple breasts, and we'll eat on it for a day or two. It's good stuff. It's one of those bucket deals. So Mama had gone to the grocery store today, stocked us up on all the goodies. So when I came in, she was coming in. Well, of course, Mama's running late. Mama's one of these that she thinks she's got more time than she does, and then she thinks she can get more done in less time than she can. My whole life, I've heard on Sunday night, Wednesday night, it's time for me to go jerk my skirt on. Meaning, I gotta hurry and get ready. If she says that, it's like 10 till, but we live real close to the church, so usually we can get there in 3 minutes. So it's not, but you know, they know extra time. So Mama was in a rush this evening to go pick up her friend to get off to their girls' night. And I went out and got all the groceries in the little red wagon that I bought for her. It just makes it easier. So filled the little red wagon up, brought it in, brought all the stuff in, and I've been putting it away. Me and Maggie's been hanging out. We went out and sat on the swing a while, and I thought, it's getting late. I'm going to have to decide, are we cooking or not, Maggie? And Maggie just looked at me like, I'm going to bed. And she is. She's already in bed. Maggie don't never go to bed this early. She's laid flat out. Now, that's when she's really sleeping. That's when she's on her side, laid flat out. But I've had some music playing. I always like to play music. Do y'all play music just in the background? You may not even know what's playing, but I'll just have Jabberbox over there to play some kind of light music and just sit and sip on my coffee after a stressful day or a stressful week. And I like to do that. And I don't have these lights on either. These lights are Euro's lights. If you came by here, you say, what's wrong? It's so dark in there. There might be a lamp on over there, but these lights are for videoing. You know, if you don't video, it's dark. So most of the time, there's a lamp over this little that little tiny lamp up there. Oh, I can't get my arm in the right place. Oh, right there. That's a little lamp, the little red shade on it. That's our light a lot of times. There's one over here in that corner, and there's one over here. So there's a lamp on in here. And this kitchen is in the center of the house. So it don't even get a lot of light through that window over there. You know. So that's the reason we have lamps in here, I guess. And so just take a peaceful, easy kind of Friday evening. What are you all doing? That's what I'm interested in tonight. Y'all entertain me tonight. Let me know what you're up to. What are y'all eating? Is anybody doing a fall fire pit and roasting weenies tonight? If I had a bunch of kids here, that's what we would have done. I didn't want to cook. I would have said, let's roast us some weenies. Let's do some weenies and grill them on the open fire. And maybe some marshmallows. And maybe an evening of it. Because that would just be peaceful and easy going for the fall. That's one of my favorite things of fall. There's a pumpkin festival going on tomorrow. I'm tempted to go, but with COVID a little rampant, I don't really want to be in too big of crowds. But I love to go where the pumpkins are out and the fodder shocks and all that prettiness. Just go and absorb it all in. And then you come home and you don't have a fodder shock because you really don't want to fool with one because they're messy. And then, but you've looked at them all day and you're like, eh. So what are y'all up to? Stopped in Jellico today on my way back from North Carolina. Well, did you? Sharon? So what you think about the big metropolitan area here, Sharon Pace? Just a small little town, loaded with history. John, can you show me that decor on the wall behind you? It looks so pretty, thanks. That or that? This is an old dresser mirror. You can see, and it swivels, and it's got some hooks on it, and we've turned it into a hall tree thing. I actually bought that. I didn't turn it into nothing. And it's got a display shelf on the bottom, and it's oak, but it goes to a dresser. So this is just what's left of it, and that's what it is. And Mama loves it, and I got that for her. Oh, I don't know, birthday, Christmas, or something. This over here is just 5 pictures, and they're really just wood mounts. And they say different things, and I don't own the rights to any of them, but they're just fun sayings. We'll go there and look at that tonight. Some people asked about that before. Now, I bought this center picture at an auction one night. And I didn't pay a lot for it, but I would have paid more because of what it says. And that's backwards. Let me tilt you up. I want y'all to read this stuff forwards. So I would have paid more for this. And it says, all that I am or hope to be, I owe to my mother. And look who said that. Abe Lincoln. This one here says, your success and happiness lie in you, Helen Keller. These are right by our exit door. So these are just little sayings that, and actually every once in a while I get a glimpse of them and I think, that's a good saying. This one just simply says faith. Keep your faith today while you're out there. Don't let nobody take it. And of course this one here, you'll see who says this one. Miss Dolly Parton, legend here in our area. It says, the way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. Now, every once in a while, when it's raining and you're headed out the door, I know what it says. So as I glance up at it, I think, you're right, Dolly. You're right. And this one up here, I told my mama, this one's you, mama. This one's you. Now, mama's no bad cat or nothing, but look at what this one says. It says, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. Katharine Hepburn. But that one right there. I love the matting of the quilt. Those are really cloth and they're really sewn. It's all that I am or hope to be, I owe to my mother. And I bought that for her for Christmas one year. And I wrapped it up and put it under the tree. And, of course, she knew it was a picture. I didn't try to disguise that part. But when she opened it, she was quite pleased. And she said she would cherish that because it meant something to her. So those are just some little sayings. And right there's where you can tell that's the coats. That little hallway section right there, we hang coats. People put their hoodies, whatever. And we keep our aprons right here on this end. Mama keeps aprons, and I've got a black one and a red one on there. And the rest of them are Mama's, and most of them are some of y'all sent her. So that's the wall decor. Is that what y'all were talking about? Lisa, did I cover it? I think I covered everything on the wall. I had hot dogs for lunch and banana split. Oh my goodness, Betty Sue. Well, you said goodbye to summer with that banana split, right? Peanut butter sandwich for dinner. Well, I took an emergency peanut butter and jelly today. And a thing of plain Lay's chips. And Mama put me in a Dunkin' stick for my coffee. I don't normally take sweets, but it was good today at 3 o'clock. It's probably why I'm not hungry. I ate a Dunkin' stick and coffee at 3 o'clock. My emergency peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Y'all know when you were kids and you take the peanut butter jelly sandwich and it would turn purple because the beautiful jelly had come through the outsides. I love that. I can throw a peanut butter jelly sandwich in my briefcase, haul out of here to anywhere. I travel for work. A lot of people say, what do you do? Why is it such a secret? My work has a clause. If we advertise where we work, then we have to do a disclaimer for every video. Well, I do a lot of videos. And if you put something, you have to say, this is the views and opinions expressed only by myself, and it's not the views and opinions expressed by my place of employment. So I can't do that every time. My mind, I can't have that on my, did you do the disclaimer? So I don't ever advertise. And that's just because of that. It's not because I'm a secret agent man like Jethro. But I love my job. And I love my employer. And I love the whole thing I do. But I work in different places. I travel a lot. And that keeps me out and about all the time. So maybe I get up on Monday. Maybe I'm going to one of the offices. And I think, will there be a food truck there today? Will there be, will they go to eat, or do I have time to drive to get eat? So I caught my emergency peanut butter and jelly sandwich, And I fix a peanut butter jelly sandwich, put it in the Tupperware container, and I throw it in that suitcase of my briefcase. And I go. And if I eat it, I eat it. And if I don't, I don't. It's still good. I have eaten it the next day. I mean, it's not like mayonnaise or a ham sandwich or even a bologna sandwich. And I can crack it open in case of emergency. If I don't have something else to eat, I got peanut butter and jelly. So I call it that for fun. But, so that's what I took today, because the location I was in today sometimes has a wonderful food truck. And they'll say, "You ordering off the truck?" I said, "Yes, I am. Count me in." And they have wonderful food. So if they're in our area, that's where they come by there. If not, then they're not. So you really don't know until you get there. But anyway, that's a long story to get that I eat peanut butter and jelly for lunch, but that's for a while. So, and then other places I go, there's plenty of places to eat, and I know I don't need the emergency peanut butter jelly sandwich, but sometimes I take it just in case I get caught up in a meeting. Sometimes I'll have a meeting scheduled throughout the day, and then they'll say, "We need to meet at 12 o'clock. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, it may go to 2. Well, then I'm like, I ain't going to feel going out and get something for now." So sometimes just having that emergency peanut butter jelly sandwich is a good idea. So if any of y'all are out there in my same situation or similar, peanut butter jelly lasts. As long as it's in a sealed container, you can keep it a day or 2. I mean, I don't recommend 2 days, but if it's emergency, it's emergency. Oh, darling, you like chats? I like chats too. I do. It gives us a chance to just talk. I miss a lot of comments when I'm trying to cook. And I know a lot of times people say, "He don't never read my comments." I see those afterwards, but I don't see them when they're coming up through here. I have about 3, let's see, well, they're frozen. I have about 3 comments at a time. And they go pretty fast. They're just sort of, they click, stop, click, stop, click, stop. So sometimes I get a read what someone's saying, but a lot of times I don't. When I'm trying to cut onions or trying to do something down here and talk with y'all, I look up, I read one, and I respond. It's not that I'm picking them out. Love PBJ, I do too, Jay. I love peanut butter and jelly. What kind of jelly? Blackberry. Blackberry's my favorite. With peanut butter anyway. I will eat grape. But blackberry is definitely my favorite. But I will eat grape on there. Not too crazy about apple. They used to give us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at school, and I always used apple jelly. I wanted Mama's blackberry jelly. Mama don't do blackberry jelly anymore because blackberry jelly is a pretty big job. You've got to pick those berries or buy those berries. And Mom's got a friend. Well, he works on projects here a lot of times, but he'll bring her blackberries from his tame blackberries. But when you make jelly out of them, it doesn't last as long, I don't think. We're not sponsored for these people. We don't even know the background of these people, but this is what we have in our little store. It's called Old Fashioned Home Style Canning, and they are. And it's from Spring Valley Farms. Don't ask me for the link. You can look on here. I don't know. I know where it's on the shelf at the Save-A-Lot. So if you have a Save-A-Lot, I'd say they probably have them. It's blackberry seedless. And it's close to Mama's. It's close to Mama's. Let y'all get a screenshot of it if you want to. I'll even, let me see if I can flip-flop, drop sock here. All right, let's see what I get. Spring Valley Farms blackberry seedless, and it's 19 ounces. And it comes in a jar with a lid. There's Mama's Coke Zeros and my Fanta. That's my drink. If I'm going to drink pop. I like orange Fanta. I don't like orange Crush. Crush don't. But I love orange Fanta. If you tried orange Crush and you think, I don't like orange pop, try the Fanta. We buy them in 2-liter pops. Mama bought this one today. We bought the 2 liters because I don't drink much of them. I'll put this in the refrigerator. I'll tell all my stuff tonight. So sometimes at night when y'all see us and we're videoing and I'm drinking the coffee, and by the way, someone told me that, said, you act like you drink coffee. Why do you do that? I said, I'm not acting like it. Sometimes I see y'all come on and I stop. Like I'll be drinking a sip and I'll go, and I said, I'm really drinking it. You don't have to, I don't have to pretend to drink it because I've always got it and I always drink it. But anyway, it does look a little funny sometimes, but trust me, you just caught me in the middle of a sip or in a sip. Depending on how hot it is, it might be in a tiny little sip. But I will drink my coffee, and then I'll rinse my cup out, and I'll put a little Fanta in it, and maybe a half a cup of Fanta, and that's how I drink it, by a 2 liter. Every once in a while on a Saturday or something, if I'm here all day, or if it's hot and I come in from water and flowers, I think, good old Fanta over ice. Ooh, that'd be so good. My other drink of pop, I ain't going to say my favorite. I'm just going to say whatever mood I'm in. But I love 3 drinks. I love a good Sprite. An ice cold Sprite. Lemon, lime, refreshing. That's hard to beat. I love those. And I can drink those at night late because there's no caffeine. There's no caffeine in the Fanta. But I love Sprite. I love Fanta. And I love Dr. Pepper. Did y'all see those balloons? Thank you for the stars. Did y'all see some balloons just float by our mind, like in the middle of something? I've never seen that. How'd that happen? It's cream soda. Karen, it's pop here. Happy birthday to you, Vicky. Whose birthday is it, Vicky? It's not mine. But I did see a bunch of balloons just float up. I've never had that on a video. If y'all didn't see balloons, just humor me and say you did. Because I know I've seen them. I love Dr. Pepper, Coke, and Fanta. It's my 3 that I really love. But Sprite's in a league of its own. Sprite is like coffee to me. You know, I want Sprite when I'm sick. I want Sprite if I'm really thirsty. I used to have a friend, and she was, I still got a friend. I still got a friend, but we used to run around her a lot more. And she would say, I'm too thirsty to drink. Someone's at the door. And Mama's not here. So what are we going to do? Y'all going to hang on a second? Let me go see what's going on. I'll be right back. This is real. This is real. Hold on. Here, y'all can watch my coffee while I'm gone. I'm coming. I'm back. Did we lose half of you? Sorry. It was our friend stopping by. I said, come on in. No. We were just stopping by to bring you something. So they brought Mama something. Real life, folks. And Maggie won't get the door I've tried to get her to. Actually, she's a little rude. They come, and she didn't tonight, but they come, they ring the doorbell, and she barks and carries on. She raised up, but that's all they got. One of them one eyes. Sometimes when she's asleep, she ain't moving for nothing or nobody. But yeah, pop is what we call it here. I think that's what we're talking about. Happy birthday. Who is happy? Whose birthday is it? It's not my birthday. Where is Mama? She's out playing bingo and phase 10. I don't know what all them girls get into. I hope she don't go rogue. I hope she don't start doing the honky tonks. I'm joking. Mama is with a group of good Christian friends. They meet at each other's houses. Actually, I think they just go to one person's house, maybe that doesn't get out much. And but it's a whole group of them. I think there's, when I hear talking about it, I think there's maybe the lady and her daughter and maybe 2, 3, 4 more. I don't know. And they meet and they play bingo. Old-fashioned bingo, you know, with the little wooden things and a little, I think they've even got a little crank thing that they crank. And, but they play bingo. And Mama takes little gifts and they take little gifts, like Dollar Tree gifts. So when you win, you get to pick something off the Dollar Tree table. And then if you don't want that, you can put it back and then pick something different. I don't even know what all they do. But now she used to play phase 10 all the time. I was accused of playing cards and gambling. But they really weren't gambling. But really they was when they was playing for gifts. I'm so thankful Mama has friends that she can run around with. I have friends, and I do things besides just stay here. Y'all have a very narrow window of what we do. What we do here is real, and we don't plan it. We don't stage it. It's just real life, real us. But there's times I'm out with my friends. There's times she's out with her friends. She's on meetings. She has sometimes 2 or 3 meetings a week. She's a member of several clubs and stuff that do different activities. So that keeps her busy, plus church. So Mama's very busy, very active in the community and part of different things. And then I have another group. You know, I'm more involved in the Friends of the Park and other meetings and stuff I have to go to. So when you live in a small community and you know a lot of people, you get asked to be in a lot of stuff, and before you know it, you're just like, we were talking about it at one of the meetings the other night. We were over at the park for Friends of the Park, and 2 of the ladies that were there were talking about, I just saw you the other day at another meeting. And she said, I know, I'm on every meeting. I'm always in a meeting. And I said, how did you ever have time to work? And she said, well, I couldn't have done this in work because this is a full-time job. And it does become a full-time job. But we like to stay active. And a lot of people in our little community, they are very active. For a small community like the surrounding areas here, we have a lot of people who are very, very active in things. And they do a lot of things. And it's good. I mean, it's good. One of the ladies is going to do some storytelling for Halloween downtown and do tours. So they'll be touring and pointing out old buildings and signs that are barely visible, what were painted, used to be painted on the sides of buildings. And they do one business downtown that's completely dedicated to, I think they call it a ghost walk, and they talk about the old things in Jellico, and they do a history behind the scenes. I really need to go on it. I could learn some stuff myself, even though I know some of the things. I don't know all the things that Jellico has done. Jellico has seen some greats. One of our most beloved persons is Grace Moore. She was an opera singer. She was very famous. She was, let's see, was it Chesterfield Cigarettes? She done ads for back in the years. I know we were in South Carolina one time. I think it was at Magnolia Plantation touring. And it was a whole thing dedicated to Grace Moore. And y'all know I like to talk a little bit. I don't mean to all the time. And I really was just talking out loud to our little group, the 4 or 5 of us. So it was a huge picture of Grace Moore and a huge bunch of memorabilia to Grace Moore. And I said, wow, that's amazing. She's from my hometown, the whole tour. 25, 30 people turned, looked at me like I was getting ready to make a speech about Grace. They started asking me questions. Oh, do you know what is her house? It put me on the spot. And here this tour guide was trying to give a tour, and here I took over the tour because they thought we were like best friends. I mean, there was an age difference. Give me a Grace more. But she was a famous person from here. Homer Rodehaver came from here. If you look in your red hymnal at your church, I don't know how many of y'all have red hymnals anymore. I think they may be a little out of style at a lot of churches, but in our church, that's what we use, the old red hymnal. And look down at the bottom, and you'll see his name on a lot of songs, those old songs that churches sang. And he lived here for a while. So there's so many others that come through here. A lot of big businesses that we find on your grocery shelves, a lot of them started in Jellico. We had a train derailment, and there was dynamite, and it caused a huge derailment and a blast. And so that was back years ago, and there's people here in this town that are better qualified than I am. I need to get someone to come on here and talk about it. But that set us back in our push for progression. And we were on track to be a big metropolitan area, and to be such a small little place now, it's hard to believe, but it really was true. The JFG salad dressing that I love so much, and their coffee and stuff, they were here. There was a lot of hosiery mills back when that was a rarity. Back in the war, my granny talks about them. But anyhow, there's just a lot of rich history here. A lot of rich history. And it's just amazing to me that I'm from a place with such history, and it's just a little small town. I love being from here. I've lived different places, and I've done different things, and I've lived, in big cities. Nothing beats my little hometown. Nothing beats knowing people when I go to the grocery store, or run by the bank or the post office, and you run into someone, you talk for 10 or 15 minutes. It's a hometown feel. It's a hickory nut, in case y'all heard that. But it is wonderful to be from a small town. I just love it. I wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing now, and I wouldn't change a thing when I was growing up. Hi, John. We still have the red book. Do you, Kimberly? I love the good red book. Love the good red book. But look at the bottom of the page, Kimberly, for some of your favorite songs, and see if you see the words Homer Rodehaver. And you can say, I know where he's from. Not from. I'll take that back. He's not from here. He moved here during his young adult life and stayed a long time, and then he moved on. And I don't know what Facebook might say, but I don't hold the rights to anything I've said as far as these people, because I'm just talking about the history of Jellico. You miss your hometown, Brandy? There's nothing like a hometown. I heard someone say one time, and it's so true, you can't make old friends. You can make new friends, but you can't make old friends. If you move somewhere else, you can stay there long enough you know a lot of people. But the difference is, in a small town, in a small hometown, the people know you, and they know your people. And they will say, I worked with your grandpa over at the mill. I went to school with your grandma. I went to school with your aunt so-and-so. And there's an instant connection there. Or I remember when your papa used to ride you around and take you to the park and feed the ducks. And you feel like there's an instant connection with people because they knew your people. And sometimes they'll say, well, I was best friends with your grandma. And you're like, wow, my grandma had a best friend. Your grandparents don't usually talk about the childhood's best friends sometimes, or maybe you'll hear a story, but to relate them to the people right here in your hometown, it's fun. Exactly, Kim says. Love my hometown. It's a large, but we are the best. Caroline, I'm glad you love your hometown. And it's our competition, so don't think I'm saying mine's the best hometown. I'm not. I'm not in any way, any shape. I'm just saying your hometown is the best hometown. My hometown is the best hometown. We all are from our hometowns, and that's where we want to be, is at our hometown. It takes a long time to grow an old friend. It sure does, Mary. You can make new old friends, but them old friends are your age that you went to school with, that you remember going to kindergarten with, that you remember the time they got in a fight on the playground. You remember, I mean, those old friends are hard to make. But now I'm all for new friends too. I'm all for new friends. I love making a connection with someone that when you get to talking to them, you feel like you're old friends. It's a good feeling too. Good evening, John. Hey, Beverly, how are you? Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers saying you can't make old friends. I think I remember that song. I was born in a small town called Mount Airy, North Carolina. Well, Linda, are you telling me you're from Mayberry? Well, hello, Linda. In case you don't know, Andy Griffith was from Mount Airy, North Carolina. And Mayberry was based off from Mount Airy, North Carolina. And so when people go to Mayberry, they go to Mount Airy, North Carolina. So I can imagine what a wonderful place that would be to grow up. J. Brooks, okay. I don't know what that was about. Hey, Linda, Brown Clinton did too. I don't know what that's about either. Hi, John, love your stories. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Let's see. Linda, J. A. Brooks says, Linda, John, get rid of the trolls. We will. Miss Nola will get rid of them, or she'll point them out and I'll get rid of them. Every program I've talked to is talking about all the trolls. And folks, I can explain to you about the trolls. These are robots. They stick a picture up there, and those pictures are real people. They steal them. And on our page, the other night, there was a John and Momma troll. I blocked them. But they were saying, you've won. When we give something away, we give it out live. You'll see a red button up here, and we'll be talking to all y'all, and we'll draw or we'll select live. So we'll never come up later and say, oh, you won, or click here to claim. This is a busy place. You'll never see that on there. So we're not going to do that. But they'll take our picture and they will stick it on here and they'll say, John and Momma. Sometimes somebody spell it right, but don't believe any of that stuff. Y'all's has the same problem. Other sites has the same problem. They're being duplicated. They're not being hacked. You're safe on here, but pictures are being taken and put out there. It's not us. It's not anybody. But a lot of these that are repetitive. Your post means so much to me. I've tried to befriend you, but I can't. Well, that's not right. Don't friend them. They're robots, and they set them to comment on every third post or they don't even know who you are. But once you click on them, then they go, oh, I've got a bot. Let's see who this is. So you can't get rid of them. I can't go in and delete them and get rid of them because they are just, you get rid of one, you block their sites, and they magnify over and over and over and over. What they're doing is they're just fishing to see if somebody out there will feel desperate enough or feel loyal enough or feel like they need to help somebody. Or they'll feel flattered by some remark they make that you have the most beautiful words. But when you see those same old posts repeated over and over, those are not real people. Those are bots, robots. So getting rid of them on here doesn't do anything. And the only way you're in danger by them is if you click on their page or you click on a link. Don't ever click on a link or anything like that. About chicken collateral. That's a true story. My daddy used me for chicken collateral. And what does that mean? We went to a place and he it was pitiful in a lot of ways. They were just a simple people, and all they was worried about was chickens, and they probably had 400 chickens. I mean, it was the most chickens I've ever seen in my life. And it was down over a hill across some railroad tracks. I would never been seen from again, and nobody could have ever found me. And this was before cell phones and pings and what are them things they follow people with. So I had no cell phone then either. And he just said, go with me, we're going to get some chickens. Well, I was all up for that. We get there, and it was a pitiful situation. And it was like something you see in a movie. And they had probably 400 chickens, and I didn't know how many chickens they had until they shook a white bucket and they started flying in. And they were flying from trees, and I didn't know chickens could fly so good till they was landing everywhere in that yard. And there wasn't a speck of grass in the whole property. Chickens had taken the grass. Anyway, he wanted 10 or 15 hens, whatever it was he was there for. He loads them up in crates, puts them in our truck. He goes to pay, and the guy had no change. Well, my daddy wasn't going to let go of no extra money, so he says, well, I'll just run up here to the store and get him to break this, whatever it was, 50 or whatever it was. And the guy said, okay. I go to get in the truck. And he looks at me and he says, you stay here till I get back. What? You stay here, I'll be right back. So I stayed. He drove up that hill, or over that railroad track, and up on that main road, and I could see him, and I thought, I'll never see him again, and they'll never see me again. I'll be here chicken farming for the rest of my life. He stayed gone and stayed gone and stayed gone what seemed to be 2 hours, but it really wasn't. It was probably more like 15 minutes. Anyway, it was a little tense. I had nothing to talk about except chickens. And I don't know that much about chickens. So I started asking questions about chicken. It was just So he comes back. He had to go to 2 stores because they didn't have no change. Anyway, long story short, when I got in that truck, I said, if you ever leave me for chicken collateral again. Well, I didn't leave you for chicken collateral. I said, Dad, you said you stay here. I'll be right back. Because you was hauling his chickens off and you knew that he thought we weren't coming back. Well, yeah. I want him to know that I was coming. I said, that's what you call collateral. You left me down here for chicken collateral. He said, don't you tell your mommy. I said, what do you mean don't tell my mommy? Well, she wouldn't appreciate me leaving you here for chicken collateral. I said, I ain't telling her till I get home. I was about probably 10 or 11. Chicken collateral. True story. If you've never been led for chicken collateral, that'll humble you. You'll learn right quick. So that's my chicken collateral story, but it's a true story. It's not made up. And ever since then, when I would leave with him, even when I got to be fully grown, my mother would say, you boys be careful. And don't you leave him for chicken collateral. Oh. My daddy would always get you in some kind of mess. Always. We was going somewhere to pick up cows or horses or chickens or you name it, all the time. Life on the farm. Folks, I didn't mean to keep y'all this long. I don't know, Mama will probably be back in a little while. She might come on in here, I thought, maybe. That coffee's just at the right temperature. I like it good and hot, but once it gets past hot, I'm like, don't have to worry about burning your tongue on that, but it's still delicious. I love that story. Well, thank you, Donna. I have family in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Beautiful place. with apple orchards. I think I've been there. We have done a lot of North Carolina. If you look at your map, you'll see Tennessee turns into North Carolina and then into the ocean. We could be like one big state laterally. So we're bordered right with them. So we do travel a lot to North Carolina. We travel a lot to South Carolina. We love going to the Eastern Seaboard. I love to go up the Eastern Seaboard. I love to go for the fall colors. A friend of mine did it a few years back, and you get a map and it tells you, and it's kind of a progression. The colors change in a progression, and maybe it's downward. I don't know. But anyhow, her and her friend did it, and they did, and I'm not really interested in this part. They did a bed and breakfast tour. Now, I know some of you ladies out there probably think that would be fun. But to me, I'd rather do a hotel tour. You know, I want to stay at a place every night the same. Bed and breakfast, you know, a lot of times, I just feel like I might tear up something. I just feel like, you know, you go in, it's basically in their house, and they may have bed linens and lacy stuff laying around. I might lay a water bottle on it or something. I don't mess up a hotel room, but I don't know. Bed and breakfast just seems too fancy. But anyway, they did it, and so it was beautiful. They went up to a lighthouse, and they had crab, and they had lobster, or a little bit of it anyway. I can't imagine eating much of anything, but they had a wonderful time, and it was just a road trip. And I think it would be fun to do. I can't. Now here's one of those trolls, I think. And here's another thing about these trolls or these bots. They have double first names because they're not really from our country and they don't get the surnames. So here's Ethan Tom. Now, do you think Ethan Tom's a real name? Ethan Tom, I don't think you're real. And then it says here, he's talking to Debbie Grubbs. Debbie Grubbs, don't worry about him. But it says, oh my, OMG, yours, such a beautiful lady with a lovely on your face. Don't even get the right sentence structure. Can you please send me a request? Ethan Tom, Debbie ain't sending you no request. Nor Kathy, nor Sue, nor no one else on here. Ethan Tom, I want to see if I can get rid of you on here. I don't want to suspend him. I want to get confirm. Okay, I think I get rid of him. Ethan Tom is not a real person. Ethan Tom is a robot, like Michael John and Mark Steve. I've seen a bunch of them. Don't pay any attention to any of those folks. Maine is the best, Cindy says. I would love to go to Maine. Love the memories. Listen, I do too. I prefer hotel state. Brenda, I do too. I want to go where, you know, it's clean. That's the one thing. And I'm not saying a bed and breakfast is it. No, I'm not, because I'm sure they are. But I want predictability. I want to know that this place has a continental breakfast and I like their danishes. I want to know where I'm going. I don't want to eat out of fancy teacups and stuff and have to use my manners at breakfast the next morning, and I may want to skip breakfast and I don't want to be rude. Because they do put a lot of effort into that, and you pay for it, but even if I paid for it and I didn't want it, I'd be like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, though. When I'm on vacation, I'm on a fast track. I don't know. But I've never stayed in one like that, so I may like it and don't know it. But just in my way of thinking, I want to stay in a hotel somewhere. Hello, John and Momma from North Carolina. Hey, Joanne. Too fancy for me. Too peoply. Great. Those are my words exactly. It'd be too fancy, and it'd be awful peoply. Because, a lot of those places you sit in the same living room. I wouldn't sit in the living room. I'd be in my room. It's not that I'm anti-people. It's just I'd want to settle in, get ready for the next day. It's a lot of work to travel. I want to check in. This is when I go somewhere, and I've lived in hotels before with work. I mean, literally 5 days a week living in a hotel for more than a year. I mean, this wasn't just a quick thing. Come home on the weekends sometimes didn't. But anyway, I just want to get in, get cleaned up, iron my clothes, lay everything out I need, kind of look over the next day's itinerary, because there will be an itinerary if I'm traveling. Make my plan, get up the next morning, grab a cup of coffee. Most of the hotels have a Starbucks or something in them if you want Starbucks, but they also have free coffee. And of course, you know me, I'm drinking the free stuff most of the time. And get on the road. I don't want no homemade breakfast. I get that here. I don't want to rest and lounge in antique furniture. I want to get on the road. So that's the reason I think I prefer a hotel better. But anyway, I would love to see the tour of the leaves, or the changing of the leaves, and do the whole tour of New England, up to Maine, have the lobster dinner, have the crab cakes, whatever, and then come back down. And that would be a great little trip. It really would. Yes, that troll, Ethan, Tom, and James Kitty also. James Kitty, if I see you, you better get off from here now. Because if I see you, I want to zap you. Ethan Tom's gone, BJ. He gone. Good evening, John and Momma. God bless from Texas. Well, hello, Shirley. How's things in Texas? Shirley, we absolutely love your state. I've not been in any states in the United States that I didn't like. Been in a lot of the states. And I love them all. And I like to try to find out what you've got, what you are famous for, what I need to see while I'm there. And I like to absorb a little bit of that, It's like coming to Tennessee. Y'all want to see the mountains, see a bear, see a black bear in Smoky Mountains, go to Dollywood, eat some grits and eat some gravy and biscuits. Y'all got your southern agendas. So when I go to these other places, I want to know, what are they famous for? What food are they famous for? What items I need to take from here? What souvenir do I want to pick up? And I'm not big on cheap souvenirs, and not that I want expensive. Don't get me wrong. But I want something with some significance to it. Like when I went to Puerto Rico, I wanted a painted feather. They had all kinds of little doodads, but I wanted a painted feather. So I bought a framed painted feather. Love it. I keep it in my office. And people say, what is that? I said, that's a painted feather from Puerto Rico. That's the kind of thing I want. I want something with some meaning to it. Something that I can tell them what I've heard about it, what heritage it has, and what significance it has. So, I want that kind of stuff. Folks, I'm going to go and let y'all go. If Mama was here, she'd say, you've talked long enough. Don't let these people go on. You'll keep them here all night. And she's right. And if you come to my house, it's the same thing. Don't come here in a hurry. Don't come here. There's an old Southern saying, and you'll say to someone, if they come, they only stay an hour, and they say, well, I'm going to go. Just thought I'd stop by and check onions. often you would hear, and some of you Southerns can probably fill in for me, what'd you come for, fire? And that means literally what it says. Back in the old days, matches weren't, you had to build a fire from your own skills. So if you let the fire go out, so that's the reason you hear the term, keep the home fires burning. I stayed back, kept the home fires burning. So if you didn't have the skills to start a fire by natural means, you could go to the neighbor's house and borrow fire. You could. So you take your coal bucket or your ashes bucket, and you go to the neighbor's house, which the neighbor might be a mile or two away. But you go to the neighbor's house and you get a little embers. You put them in your bucket with a shovel. And you might get a few pieces of wood, just something to smolder long enough to get you home. And you take that home, and then you could use those embers and that fire to rekindle your fire, so your family wouldn't be cold that night. So literally, when we say, what you come for, fire? Because trust me, when you come for fire, you got to grab it and go, because it'll go out. You can't run down the road with a flaming bucket, so it's just embers. It was just warm embers. So if you had kindling, you had something you could put on there to stoke the fire. Then you could take those embers, and you get enough of them to hold you till you got home. But you better hurry, because you're packing fire, and it ain't gonna last forever. So if you go to somebody's house in the South and they say, "What you come after, fire?" That means, what are you running off so quick for? Stay a spell. Oh, you'll never catch you. Oh, you don't ever catch us live? I'm watching from Mobile, Alabama. I love your kitchen, and I want to see. What do you want to see? The rest of the house, if Mama will allow. The outside, I saw a little of out back on the picnic table. Where are you and Mama? Oh, okay. We usually do a Christmas tour. Mama likes that. A Christmas tour. She enjoys doing those. But this is our kitchen. Now, when you're sitting here, you got a gray. This is a gray looking, and then white. But then when you tilt around, it's just maple cabinets. So some people say, is your kitchen gray or is it wood? And well, those are the cabinets. I can tell why it looks like wood. And then under the cabinets is tile. So that wall is different from this wall. So sometimes, depending on where you see us, we're in the same room. It's not two rooms. Some people ask that question. The reason I said that. Hi, John. Do you have any more cookbooks left? Samantha, we don't. We filled our orders, and we have just, 2 or 3 here that we had that Mama uses. General Nicholas Patrick Carter, another troll. J.A. If I see him, I'll grab him. Bed and breakfast or hotels. I love to travel. Sharon, now see, I can tell by your picture you probably enjoy those bed and breakfasts, drinking out of them little teacups, and you look like you would be someone who would enjoy a good traveling trip with the girls to bed and breakfast. And I think that'd be great, and I can see Mama doing it. She's just like you, Sharon. I can see her getting a bunch of girls together and just running up the East Coast to bed and breakfast after bed and breakfast. And but my idea of a bed and breakfast is a fancy little tea party almost of a thing. And they eat supper together. Is this true, or am I making that up? And I know Airbnbs, you rent them like a hotel room. That would be different. But aren't bed and breakfasts usually a host lives there and you have a room? Kind of like, you see on TV. I don't know. I've never really looked into them that much. Now, Lisa, Brenda Gantz, bed and breakfast. That would be like I don't know. It's a little different. You get the whole house. You rent the whole house. Now that's different. Like renting the whole house and going to the beach. Now Brenda doesn't have you in her house, does she? The Cottle house is across the street from hers, but you rent that whole house kind of like an Airbnb. That would be a little different. I'm not talking about that because that would be different. What I'm talking about is, well, I'm talking about how my friend, they stayed with people. They had hosts, and you'd go to their house and you'd have a room. And she showed pictures of the rooms, and there was like antique furniture and lace doilies, and it was real southern, even up through there, the places they stayed were very nice places. But they looked like were just full of stuff I would break and knock over, and I could just see me probably putting a ring on the table with a glass of water or something. Although I don't do that kind of thing. But most of the time, hotels, like I stay in, most of the time they have a marble top table or something by the bed so that you won't have rings. I don't know, it's just different. That's just me. And I may love Airbnbs or Air breakfast, whatever, if I ever went to one. But I ain't going to try it, I don't think. Yeah, I would want to stay in Brenda Gansby. Brenda Band. Forgive me, Brenda Gans, a wonderful lady. And I would probably stay in her Cottle house too, because I've seen pictures inside. It's just, I'd probably, if I went there, that'd be probably my goal, just to go stay in there and look around at all the antiques and all the beautiful stuff. It probably wouldn't be like I'd be on my way somewhere or have an agenda for the following day. It would just be, that would be my destination location, to go there and spend the weekend and just take it all in. I think she's got I don't know what she calls it, a cottage behind that house that she rents to, isn't it? Maybe even to groups or something. Come to Brooklyn, New York. Go to Coney Island in New York cheesecake. Yeah, Brian. When we went to New York, that was on our agenda. Eat some cheesecake, eat pizza at Ray's, go by the Coney Island locations, of course, Statue of Liberty, and all those things. So we were there a week, and we did it all. We went all kinds of places. We seen all kinds of wonderful things. Beautiful city. A lot going on there all the time. Let's see here. Yep, Shirley. Mama's out on the town. I figure she'd be back by now. Sometimes she's back early, and sometimes it's like 9 o'clock. Whew. Stand up to all airs. Thank you, Ginger. Great chat watching from Maine. You are in Maine? See, we're talking about wanting to vacation in your hometown. Shout out from Mobile, Alabama. Hey, Fran, how are you? Lily, you have a blessed night too. Hey, Sherry. Hey. Sue. Have a great night from Momma, North Carolina. Enjoy your Saturday morning. Yes, Sue. I want to enjoy. I love Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings are a wonderful time. Friday nights are a wonderful time. Not that I don't like work. I don't know why it makes it so great to be off from work if you like your job. I think even like if you were like an ice cream taster at an ice cream shop, you'd probably say, whew, I'm glad I'm off for the weekend. It's just human nature. I remember one time my dad wanted to retire. And he did retire earlier than some. But he really, really enjoyed it. Oh, he loved his retirement. He loved going to the cattle market. London, Kentucky's not that far from us, and they had a wonderful cattle market every Tuesday. And he loved to go to the London sale. And So he would love that. He would go, and he still went, but I asked him after he'd been retired, a year or so, and I said, so how you liking this retirement, Dad? And he said, well, I liked it better when I first got off from work. He said, but now basically it just took my weekends away. And he said, so every day I just get up and say, now what day is it again? So I think he kind of, got a little burnout with it when he got bored a little bit. But he did love his sales, and he went as long as he was able. Sometimes he'd just drive down there, see what they's up to, and drive home, he'd say. But it was his thing. Every Tuesday went to the London flea market, cattle sale, that kind of thing. Some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Tell Mama we missed her. We missed her on Friday nights, but now she's here a lot of Friday nights still yet. It's not every Friday. So she was here last week. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Sherry. Folks, I enjoyed this. I wasn't distracted. I could just sit and chat, and that's a good time too. I'm still not wanting anything to eat, so it must have been the right decision. And I won't eat this late. It's too late to eat now. But now in the morning I'll be hungry. So I may get up early and cook. I cook on Saturday mornings a lot of times. A lot of times through the week when I'm working, Mama will get up early and then she'll lay back down, she says. But she'll fix, scrambled eggs and toast or something like that. She likes to get up and do that. And I like for her to. There's a thumbs up bubble over here. It's not the same one as this. It's a different one. I've seen balloons. I've seen bubbles. There must be an upgrade in Facebook. I don't know. But I like for her to cook. Not because I want breakfast. But that's just a side effect of it. Because when she cooks scrambled eggs for me, she eats them too. And if I get out without her fixing me some scrambled eggs and toast, then she'll say, I didn't eat till 11 or 12. I like for her to start out with some good protein because that breaks her fast with protein and it helps her sugar levels. So a lot of times even if I'm thinking I'll just skip breakfast, she'll say, do you want me to fix this breakfast? And I'll say, some good eggs would be good because I love eggs every morning. I'm an egg eater. I love good fresh eggs. And like I had told y'all before, I'm very easy. I could eat. Mama could fix scrambled eggs, toast, and tomatoes every morning. And I don't know how long it would take before I would say, let's try something different. Because it would be a long time. I'm going to tell y'all something on her right now. We've had this big debate all these years that we've been on here where she don't like grits. Don't like them. And I've told her, Mama, I'm going to have to check and see if you're allowed to carry a Southern Belle card and be someone who don't like grits. I can't believe you don't like grits. You love corn. I just don't care for them. Just don't like them. Okay, Mama. So we hadn't had any, and I hadn't asked for none. I'll buy them out at Cracker Barrel or somewhere. So not long ago, someone said about grits, and I said, Mama, pick up some of those instant grits when you're at the store, because I wasn't going that day. She was going. I said, pick up some of those instant grits when you go to the store, if you don't care, because I don't know what to buy when I get there. But if I see what you buy and I like them, then I'll know. So anyhow, she bought some. And they set it on the pantry shelf for a while. And one morning, she made them. I don't know if I asked her to or not, but anyhow, she made them. And I looked over there, and she had a little bowl. Little tiny bowl of them. And she ate them. I looked, and she filled it back up. And I said, now, Mama, are you eating grits? And she said, well, they're better than I remember. And she said, but I think we ate them with bacon grease. Well, I don't want them with bacon grease either. But when I told her I wanted them with a little butter and a little sugar, just a little, not much. I don't even eat a lot of sugar or butter in them. She liked them too. So for the past month, about once a week, we get grits. Can you believe it? Mama's turned into a Southern Belle that likes grits. But that's one thing, I say to people say, I don't like meatloaf. And I'm like, come on now. Just change it around. Have a different meatloaf. If you don't like traditional meatloaf, have taco meatloaf. Have Italian meatloaf. There's so many ways you can fix it. It's so good. But Mama's eating grits now. So we may have grits in the morning. That's a good Saturday morning breakfast. Grits, toast, or grits and eggs even. That's a little bit big breakfast. But like eggs and toast and grits, that's good though. It's good for you. Folks, thank you for putting up with me tonight. Thank you for keeping me company. Maggie, as you can tell, she's not been a bit of interest in company tonight. Even when the doorbell rang, she laid in there and just brought one eye up. It could have been anything, and she didn't care. But she probably figured it wasn't a UPS guy with a treat or the FedEx guy with a treat, and she wasn't interested. Mercy, that girl. I'm going to get her up, though. She's got to get up, and we're going to go outside. It's a have to. It's a have to. So even if she ain't in the mood to get up, I'm going to have to get her up and say, let's go out and look at that big harvest moon. Did y'all see the moon last night? Seriously. Beautiful moon. I hope it's as pretty tonight. I'm going to go out there and check it out. It's dark. Go out there and check it out and see what that moon looks like. Y'all have a blessed night, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for liking, following, and sharing our page. We're getting new people all the time, and we appreciate you new folks. We appreciate you folks that's been with us for many years now, 2 to 3 years. What a wonderful blessing. Old friends and new friends. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Bye.